the industry doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it does to an extent, but the brand is more important.
It's all marketing, right? Your brand is the biggest thing that you have going for you to set you apart and make you more competitive. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Own the Exit. I'm here in the studio. I'm your co-host, Caleb. I'm in here with Aaron. What's up? What's going on, Aaron?
What is going on, Caleb?
Come on,
Happy
man.
you guys are all with us, tuning in for another episode.
Tuning in. Yeah.
Yep.
Tuning in here. Thanks so much for being a part of the Own the Exit community. Listen, if you've not checked us out on YouTube yet, please do. Hop on YouTube and also
see our faces, our lovely faces,
instead
of just our voices.
It's just YouTube. Search Own the Exit on YouTube. You can subscribe there. We're continuing to update that channel and add more valuable content for you. Also, if you're not following us on Instagram yet, you should go to @OwnTheExit on Instagram and check us out. We feature more short form content that just kind of punches some value add to you in your Reels feed on Instagram. So check us out there. Today, Aaron and I we've been, having this conversation around what does it take to build a good brand? Because part of what is involved in building a successful business, a business that you can kind of pull away from, limit your active involvement in, and has the ability to sort of continue to thrive with or without you as the owner. One of the most important and critical parts of that is ensuring that you have a strong brand presence, whether that's a local brand, a regional brand, a national brand, whatever it is you're trying to build, whatever it is that makes sense for your brand. And so we were talking about some of the most unique observations that we've made from companies that have successfully built these ironclad brands, right? These powerful brands that are, either household names or locally well-known, brands. And so, Aaron, I'd love to hear from you. What are one or two of the brands that come to mind that come to mind when you think, hey, these folks did a good job building a successful brand?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like we were talking about earlier, Caleb. There's a plumbing company in Kansas City where we live, and plumbing isn't something where I think of like building that company and then successfully exiting it like for a big payday. When I think of like a plumbing company, but this is a company. It's called Bob Hamilton Plumbing. The guy built it. All of his trucks and all of his service vans and everything are like bright pink.
Yeah.
And then it's a big picture of him on the side of him waving, and it's kind of cheesy. But when you call him, it's they answer the phone like on the first ring, and they say, it's a great day here, Bob Hamilton Plumbing. How can I make you smile? And they have a kind of a higher level of customer service, but it's expensive. It's like $200 an hour for a plumber to come out. Yeah. And, but he ended up selling that business. And so he had, good marketing. Like he had this, giant billboard in the summer in Kansas City. Gets really hot here. It's like humid, so you have the big billboards on the freeway that says your wife is hot in huge, all caps.
I've seen those for
tiny letters underneath. You need to get your AC fixed.
Yeah.
And he had multiple ads that were creative, that were memorable for a plumbing company.
Yeah.
And so he really stood out because most of them, when you think of plumbing companies, you think of generic or dirty,
right?
Or just you don't want to interact with them. And I mean, I'm totally, this is, not
or there's
all plumbers,
all of these,
right? I mean, because it's
right.
But I'm just thinking and I'm just saying that from the perception of, what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, it's like most service-based businesses, they struggle to build a powerful brand, right? And one of the things that I see is there's an over-reliance on superlative descriptors, if that makes sense. So reliable plumbing.
Yeah, like I was
integrity, and it's if you need to tell me that you're reliable, then chances are you probably aren't that reliable. If you need to tell me you have integrity, then chances are maybe you don't.
Honest Dave's Auto.
Exactly.
But it's a good idea too of when you're a lesson that from Bob Hamilton Plumbing is to me is, I think he started that company and built a brand so that he had something at the end. You know, he could have
Yeah.
just done that entire business and made a lot of money, but there wouldn't have been anything to really sell at the end.
If you think about it, you said when you call there, right? They say, Bob Hamilton Plumbing, how can we make you smile?
Hmm.
Right. And then you
Yeah.
think about the funny billboards. People drive by, they read it. Maybe they don't laugh out loud, but they sort of, and they smile.
Uh-huh.
And then probably when the guy gets to your house and does a good job on your plumbing, it's like, that was a good experience.
Yeah.
Right. And like every step of the way, the goal is it's like, hey, if we can make our customers smile, then we can be set apart from all of the other Kansas City plumbing and HVAC companies, because most of the time when people have to call us, it's not because they're smiling.
Yeah.
It's because they're frustrated and they're mad. Like, so now our goal is if we can just make them smile, they'll keep calling us. And it was pretty successful.
Yeah. And another thing they did was like basically service contracts. So
Yeah.
it was a monthly retainer where you would pay $50 or $150. So you build up an entire book of clients that are on retainer. So you have that plus your brand. You know, there's a lot of value at the end.
Yeah.
Because you could start a plumbing company and not do those two things and just have a white van that's called Reliable Plumbing. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's not memorable.
Right.
You know, and you could just kind of do you could build up your customers, but it's all one time transact. Like there's not a lot of recurring revenue there.
Right.
So what's it really worth when you want to not be a plumber anymore?
Exactly.
And so I think that's where Bob Hamilton was smart in, which just shows the industry doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it does to an extent, but the brand is more important.
It's all marketing, right? Your brand is the biggest thing that you have going for you to set you apart and make you more competitive. I think of like how, as a relatively young company, Tesla has become like an almost ironclad brand, right? And it's all kind of anchored around this like intelligent, solve problems in a way that's cool and desirable, right? Like that kind of vibe that Elon Musk has built within the culture of that company. And I'm going to like put on my conspiracy theorist hat here. Do you remember a couple years ago when the prototype for the Cybertruck came out? So, context, I was talking to a guy who works at the local Tesla delivery center where people go to pick up their cars they buy. And I just asked him, I was like, hey, if I were to order a Cybertruck today, how quickly do you think I'd get it? And he's like, oh, there's like 1.5 million back ordered right now nationally. And it would probably, if you ordered it today, you'd probably get it 4 years from now or 5 years from now. Like they're that over ordered on them. And so when I think about that, I'm like, why was this vehicle so popular? Like all of a sudden, you know, like, but it really goes back to like all of these car shows, right? They're like every car company is debuting their prototype for every model years in advance before they release it, their new prototype, right? They're showing it all these car shows, and none of those videos and none of those shows ever go viral, and none of those pictures of those automobiles ever go viral. Most people don't see the new model of the car until the year before it comes out, right? And then they're like, at that point, it's like, oh, that's cool. Well, Elon like does something crazy and decides when he debuts the prototype of the Cybertruck that he's going to go throw a brick or whatever it was through lead ball through the shatterproof window, and then it shatters, and that video goes viral all over the internet. Yeah. Right? But I mean, I honestly would not put it past Elon for that to have been entirely intentional. Right. For it, like 100%. For he knew marketing. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to throw this and I'm going to shatter the windshield because of two things. One, his brand and he personally has a reputation of solving complex problems. Right? Like he literally like has an ambition and believes genuinely that he's going to terraform Mars and people are going to be living on planet Mars before the end of his lifetime. Like they're going to put people on Mars within the next 5 years is what he said. Right? Like it's like, so like this is the guy who like is committed his life to solving really complex problems that most people are not even like,
It's impossible, right?
And so he's built that
Yeah.
reputation. And so the idea is that, well, he's promising a shatterproof window. It broke 2 or 3 years before this vehicle comes out. They're going to solve that problem.
Yeah.
They're going to solve that problem, but by shattering it, like it
Well, it's
goes
memorable.
viral, and now
Yeah.
everybody sees the prototype for this truck 3 years before they can buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates this pressure building thing where then as soon as orders open up,
Yeah.
you get 1 million orders in a day for
Yeah.
Cybertruck.
I reserved one.
Yeah.
Just
Everyone did.
like a year ago, just for
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
It was like $100, you know?
Yeah.
It just puts your name in the queue, right?
Right,
I don't know if
exactly.
I'm going to buy one, but
Sure.
it's that awareness.
Yeah.
And then you see how many people have ordered them, and
Yeah.
I mean that's what every brand struggles with, right? Is how to continually be on the forefront, even established brands.
Yeah.
You know, trying to continue to fight and not lose market share, even if you're McDonald's. You know, McDonald's is losing a lot of market share to Chick-fil-A, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's like Chick-fil-A is a privately owned company that's very strategic and super slow in their growth. But they're taking away. So what can even an established brand do to stay relevant?
Right.
And it's a battle for
Yeah.
decades old companies that
Yeah.
are a household name too.
Yeah.
You know, and let alone you have a new company that you're trying to get seen, and it's very hard. And it's the key because, you know, to, like you said, even the industry you're in is important. And obviously that's your business, but the marketing side is where it's such a factor.
Yeah. So I think the takeaways here are just when you're building your business, don't be afraid of taking some risks to help your brand stand apart. Be set apart in the marketplace. You know, Bob Hamilton Plumbing putting up billboards that say, "Hey, your wife's hot." Like some people would call that risky. Some people would say Elon throwing a lead ball through the window of his shatterproof, bulletproof vehicle and it breaking is risky. But the risk takers are the ones that are going to build the most powerful ironclad brands over time. And so I think whether you're dealing in, a national market, a regional market, a local market, go all in with building your brand in such a way that it really does stand apart. And so I think that's really the takeaway.
Understanding your
and there's so
brand,
many different,
building it.
we could put together probably 20 episodes of tactical, strategic ways to do that. And maybe we'll have some episodes in the future where we talk more about that. Would love actually feedback from our listeners if that's something that, would be beneficial to you. We'd love to create, more of that content and have more of those conversations and get some, branding experts and stuff like that on the show to talk about this stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's pretty much all we got for today, right?
That's all we got.
Yeah.
So just, some nuggets for you guys to kind of think through. And, I love doing these episodes, because it's conversational. We have guests on. Sometimes we just talk through, kind of top of mind stuff, but between us that we're working through in our businesses. But just hope that it adds value to you guys. And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks.